Uh, Dear participants, we have today very interesting topic. We are open up for Ukrainian businesses and not only Ukrainian, international businesses, different markets. In our YouTube channel, we already can see United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Cyprus, Great Britain, any other countries. But now we are talking about Africa, prospects and challenges to enter African markets. And we have two brilliant guest experts who will share their practical experience and who will open up for you each country of Africa, what opportunity you have there and what challenges are waiting for you there. But before and while we are gathering here, I would like to introduce Ukrainian Business Way, organizer of the event. This May we will have fourth anniversary of our activity. We start just after the war. We started to help Ukrainian entrepreneurs to open businesses in United Arab Emirates because they have 40 plus free zones and mainland, and it was really hard to understand how to open businesses there. We started to help businesses who decided to or to move to United Arab Emirates or just to open there some new entities. So we helped them as a community. Later on, we opened two more branches. Again, in May, it was Cyprus and UK. Here I'm in UK, and we are continuing our mission to help Ukrainian business to go international. Just a small announcement. 14th of May, we will have offline event in London. It will be like a 13th anniversary in the UK, and also very interesting topic. Everyone who is here, please be welcome to join us. Usually we have interesting speakers. We will have discuss funding. We will discuss bank loans and grants in the UK, and there will be very interesting speakers just in several weeks here in London. But also our webinars, everything is for free to join, and of course you can also become a partner of our Business Way organization, like a media partner or partner business partner. For the moment, we have a lot of communication with official organizations of Ukraine, like Export Community, Organic Standard Community, Ukrainian Export Alliance, FRUSB Ukraine. It's all organization connected with export-oriented businesses. We have connection with business chambers, business in different countries. So if you're looking for partnership and you're looking for media, just join us. Now we also have Experts Club for interaction between exporters for exchanging the experiences, and please be welcome. We have access to very interesting databases, 12 databases about global trade. We can extract any data about trade of your HS code with different countries of Africa, and not only Africa, the whole world. If you join the club, it will be like included into the service, or you can just have it separate service. It's a lot of different possibilities here in this club. Just you can also tell about your business to the broader audience. We have good audience in our LinkedIn profile. My last visit to IFA exhibition was really fruitful. I have some distributors interested in Ukrainian products here in the UK. Finally, it's practical area already, so we can also discuss your distribution here in the UK, especially FMCG products. So please, if you are interested, right here, go to our Telegram channel, write to our admins, and we will give you more details about this. And of course, there are many of different possibilities. Why it's important? We want to integrate community of Ukrainian entrepreneurs in the countries where you are now. That's why we started with Ukrainian language events, and gradually we had joint events with Ukrainian English. And now we are switching this year, we announced it, we are switching mostly in English language, just to provide you, we understand it's 4 years already, to provide you this opportunity to be really integrated in the markets where are you working. And of course, English language is the main point to trade internationally. And we are opening other possibilities for you. Here are the contacts. Please contact me. We have many guests now, and now we are gradually going to our topic. Yes, it's 9 minutes after start. So we are ready. Why this topic is very interesting, very up to date. Just a couple of days ago, our Prime Minister Yulia Sverdenko made a post in her LinkedIn that Ukraine has opened its first agri-hub in West Africa in Ghana. So we already have even logistic hub that is fully supported by our politicians, by our economic department. And of course, we have different gates. It can be gate of United Arab Emirates, it can be gate of Egypt, and other gates, how to enter African markets, and which African markets our experts will tell you about. And one more interesting case and information about Africa. In fact, Africa is much, much bigger than it shows on our maps. And Jan shared this interesting picture that it's wider than our enemy, and it's a huge export potential for Ukrainian, and not only agricultural and commodities, but also technologies, knowledges, and other opportunities that our speakers will share. So at this moment, I would like to introduce our speakers with one question. Please, Alice and then Jan, introduce yourself shortly and tell what are the main prospects, opportunities, and challenges you see for Ukrainian, and not only Ukrainian, but mostly Ukrainian exporters in Africa.
Thank you, Violet. Thank you for inviting and for the introduction as well. My name is Alice Santos. I am the CEO and founder of African Project Global Bridge. We call APGB Boutique Consultancy. We are based in London, and our primarily focus is to support companies that are looking to enter Africa and to help them break down the steps and support them throughout the whole process to enter not all the countries in Africa. We're going to talk about that. We've been talking about the size of Africa, over 50 countries in Africa. So I will speak about the countries that we work with. So those countries we can help you with if you are interested about that. The opportunities are vast. Let's start with that. It depends on your appetite and your focus as well, what you work in. But as the Ukrainian authority already noticed, agriculture is the main one, I should say. The next one, I would say infrastructure. Fintech is something that is coming up now quite often, and few countries are due to young population and very savvy with technology. Technology opportunities are there. Other opportunity services. I will talk about Angola as well. So Angola mainly, the main focus of the country was for many years oil, but right now the government is trying to diversify. So tourism is something that they want to explore a little bit more. But again, the challenges are there as I speak. So the same, the same industries, you will find challenges. So the industry, the infrastructure is there because there is a lack of infrastructure. So if you go and you choose to work with, a lot of the African countries, the infrastructure does not follow the speed maybe that your expectation will have once you think about, entering African countries. So that, with that said, slowing down your expectations when you think about entering Africa, because it's not going to be the same speed as entering any other countries in Europe, for instance. So I think the mindset of when you choose and select a country, work on your expectations when you're trying to when you decide to embrace this journey. It is rewarding, yes, but the mindset will have to be, you will build something a long term. You will build something that will create an impact, within the community, within the country, within the region. Getting involved rather than a quick transaction. So for me, anyone with a business with the mindset of transaction, we don't work with this type of mindset, because we know that it will build a lot of frustration along the way. And if you want fast and furious, it's not going to work. If you someone that wants to implement something and see it grow and embrace the challenges and support along the way, because you might think that you just want to export, but along your journey, you might have to educate, you might have to train, so you might have other areas that you will have to develop, and that will be fun, and you will see the results of it. So yeah, so there is opportunities and challenges along the way, but the transformation is fantastic when you have your heart in the right place, and also your expectations match the dynamic of the region that you choose.
Excellent. It's already very, very interesting for me. Jan, and your opinion, and yes, and you can then continue with your presentation. Yes. Your microphone, Jan, microphone.
I had muted myself. Dobar dan. Nice to meet you all. Good afternoon. My name is Ian Thomas. I'm from England. And my business is called Crested Crane Connections. That consists of two people, myself and my business partner, Mr. Julius Mugabu. Julius hails from Uganda, and he is very much close to the business ethic and cultural standards that exist in East Africa. To corroborate what Alice has just said, I agree those marketplaces, agricultural in particular, are very, very big. Other areas which I know Ukraine has got some good knowledge in are things like minerals, and of course infrastructure as well, as mentioned by Alice. But I would generally say that you could practically look at every market sector and find opportunity either in East Africa or across the whole of other parts of Africa as well. We do specialise in East Africa with a focus on Uganda, and that in itself is a colossal area. With a growing population, growing economies, exciting opportunities. So hopefully some of that will come out in the presentation. as we get going. But I just really wanted to touch on something that Violetta said earlier. She said about the myths that Ukrainian people have about Africa. I will tell you that those myths are shared by the British people as well. The British people are very badly educated on Africa, and the map that Violetta just shared with you actually shows that there are some tremendous misunderstandings about Africa. So just to give you some sort of idea, there are over 1,500 languages in Africa.
Wow.
Some estimates say over 2,000. So it is actually colossal from both a logistical and an ethnic perspective, with over 3,000 different ethnic groups. So in my mind, I don't believe anybody can claim they are an expert on Africa. They may know a certain amount about certain parts, but the continent is so vast, so diverse, that it really needs visibility in the marketplace for companies to make an impact. And I would say it would be very unwise to tackle the whole of Africa in one go. I think Alice is offering very good services slightly to the west of where we operate, whereas we tend to operate in the area that's shown on the screen at the moment. So what you are looking at here is the East African community. And this is the official logo from the front of the East African community website, which encompasses, I think it's 8 different countries now, which will be listed on the next slide. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. The East African community consists of the countries that are shown there. The ones that are darker, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda, are the larger or the easier of the countries to deal with. Democratic Republic of Congo is colossal, and it does have a big economy, but it has a population that's really centered around a couple of large cities, and the rest of the country is vast areas of jungle and very difficult to navigate parts of the world. So we tend to focus on Uganda, but we are happy to look at Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and of course provide support where if somebody has a project in Burundi or Somalia or South Sudan, then we would like to provide support there, as well as the Democratic Republic of Congo. So as you can see, this particular area has over 300 million people. Next slide, please. The populations in these countries are very young. I was saying earlier on that I started work in the 70s, which makes me feel very, very, very old. I think when you get to about the age of 16 or 17 in East Africa, you're older than the average. So the birth rate is high, and Uganda, which has a population of 49 million, is forecast to double within 20 years, which is tremendous. So that means that country's got to feed itself. It means that it's got to create opportunity, and therein lies the opportunity for Western companies that have got the know-how to be able to bring value to those countries. By 2050, it's forecast that 25% of consumers in the world will live in Africa. And I can remember back in 1992 when I first went to India, and people said, why would you go to India? There's not much business opportunity. The vision was jungle, tigers, waterfalls, elephants, Jungle Book. But the reality is very, very different. And the reality in Africa is that it's a continent with many countries that are growing. And we focus really on those in East Africa where we believe there's exciting future. So the next slide, please. One thing that the countries within Africa have been striving towards is to create one large market where border tariffs are eliminated. And 55 countries have signed the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. It's a very long term, and it may be a difficult one for somebody in Ukraine to pronounce, but it's basically creating tariff-free opportunities within the marketplace. And the benefits of reducing such tariffs are suggested by a growth in the next 10 years by 450 billion above where they are at the moment. And this is a single market of 1.3 billion people. And as we saw earlier, that 1.3 billion people is growing very, very fast. So the whole continent has tremendous opportunity. And if, for example, you exported your products and had them assembled in Uganda, for example, you could then export tariff-free to 54 other countries for your products. So it's a very, very exciting time. And these are the messages that people need to understand when considering overseas markets. Next slide, please.
Jan, I just want to highlight maybe in Ukrainian, just in a couple of sentences.
Yes.
Ян тільки що щойно показав, як Африка, яка насправді це дуже багато країн, і, по-перше, зростання населення майже вдвічі прогнозується буквально до 50-го року. І існує угода про те, що 55 країн мають вільну торгівлю. І, наприклад, співпраця з однією з країн відкриває, відповідно, маркет всіх інших країн. І цей маркет постійно зростає. Це наразі 1,3 мільярди людей, які по тарифам об'єднані цією угодою, які постійно зростають. Це населення постійно зростають технології. Тобто це ринок неймовірних можливостей зараз на самому початку його зародження. Yes, thank you, Jan.
Thank you. You've gone quiet, Violetta.
Yeah. You can continue, please.
Okay.
It's really interesting. Yeah, and
Thanks.
it's really huge possibilities. Yeah.
Yes, the as a free trade market, is the largest free trade zone in the world, both geographically and by the number of people. Some of the things that are certainly promoted in East Africa includes the export processing zones and the special enterprise zones. And these are fairly similar to the Western idea of free ports and trade zones, international trade zones that exist certainly here in England, and I know in certain parts of Europe. But other benefits for companies that are establishing a presence can include corporation tax holidays, can include free land, things like import duty exemptions, and in some cases exemptions to bylaws, particularly for anybody that wants to put a factory up, providing they're in an export processing zone. Then that can be a very, very positive benefit. And of course, by locating there is access across to 54 other states through the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now, this does apply to companies that are establishing a presence in order for that presence to be there to promote their products. So if you are selling just in through a distributor, or you are selling direct to a customer, then some of these points are not applicable. But this is for those companies that can see the opportunity. So next slide, please. We saw the picture earlier on of Africa and how it relates to the physical size. My business partner Julius brought this particular map to my attention, and I thought it was brilliant because it just shows, you know, you've got three massive economies: USA, China, India, and that only takes up about 55%, maybe 60% of Africa. And you can see, I don't know if Ukraine is in there, but my eyes aren't good enough. But it just really goes to show that Africa is absolutely colossal and should be treated with respect from a business perspective. A lot of people I speak to say, we've got Africa covered. We've got an agent in Cape Town, and Cape Town is at the very, very bottom of that map. And it is impossible for an agent in Cape Town to look after the whole of Africa. It's something that when I'm told it, I smile and I laugh, not to them, but it makes me smile and it makes me realize they don't understand Africa. So next slide, please. Most African markets have a long way to go until they become mature. Many of them can be considered emerging markets. But there is a realization that European products are generally offering better value than Asian products. Now, I'm sure most of you here will understand the difference between price and value. And we know that Asian products can, in many instances, cost less than European products. But there is a realization that products that may be cheap don't last so long. They need more maintenance, whereas products that are built in the West are generally built for longevity. or they may have innovative solutions that bring additional value. So there is a recognition now that European and Western products are offering better value than those from Asia. But price, of course, is still important. And we can't get away from that because money can be limited. But it's important to have the visibility and to get there before your competitors do. That is very, very important. So visibility is something that I know my business partner, Julius, uses that word very, very regularly. It's so important. So next slide, please. Key areas for growth. We did talk about this earlier to a degree, but these are just some of them. And you'll see agriculture is in there, as mentioned before, minerals, all sorts of things. Fintech was mentioned. I don't think fintech's in that list, but that list could go on forever. It could cover many, many, many pages. Oh, yes, it does say fintech. I've just spotted it. But the opportunities really cover a multitude of areas. Construction is important, and we'll come on to that in a moment. So next slide, please. I talked to many, many manufacturing companies, and they have developed a new product, and they say, we are going to get it made in China. And this is quite a regular, common way of thinking, certainly for British companies. But there are a number of issues now on the political stage, which means that China is seen by some as potentially controversial, vulnerable, whatever we care to call it. And the rising costs have meant that China really can only compete now where it's got economies of scale. So I question, can Africa be a credible alternative to China? When somebody develops something new, they should ask the question. Please go ahead. Please, next slide. When somebody suggests we will have this product made in China, I question, why not consider Africa? And is that a good thing to do? Well, the answer can be yes, and the answer can be no. Africa needs to improve its infrastructure. This was mentioned earlier. However, the more international businesses that enter Africa, either sell into Africa or enter physically, will accelerate the pace of upgrading such infrastructure. For example, in Uganda, there's many, many new industrial parks either being built or in the planning stage. And these industrial parks are being filled by international companies that want to trade there. And that will generate wealth. That wealth will generate a growth in infrastructure. And let's be honest, when Western companies started outsourcing to China, China did not have the infrastructure it has now, 35 years later. So China was really where Africa was many, many years ago. So we've done it before. There is opportunities to outsource to Africa. Next slide, please. A little bit about Russian influence in East Africa. Russia does have influence, and Africa is no exception. East Africa is no exception. Next slide, please. Kenya has very strong diplomatic ties with Ukraine and supports the Ukrainian position on independence, whereas Uganda has taken a position of neutrality, but is very much open for business and is a very easy country to do business in. Next slide, please. Tanzania, that probably has the closest relationship with Russia, but is still a country that's open for business. Whereas Rwanda is a much smaller country and it continues to back UN resolutions that support Ukraine and is well politically aligned. So next slide, please. The gentleman you're looking at on the left, I think, is in this meeting listening to this. And this is Julius, who has 30 years of international business experience. Julius spends probably 8 or 9 months of the year in Uganda and 3 or 4 months of the year in England. I'm the ugly looking one on the right, and I've got 40 years of international business experience. I spend most of my time in England, but I go to Africa when we take clients there. So I go backwards and forwards when the time is right. So the next slide, please. We are small, Crested Crane Connections, but we combine local know-how from East Africa with a knowledge of Western corporate aspirations and culture. So I approach our work from a Western perspective, and Julius approaches our work from an African perspective. And we believe that gives us a tremendous strength when dealing with companies, because in consultation with each other, we are then able to plan in a way that makes sense to all parties. So we try to build bespoke trade visits for individual companies. But if we had, say, for example, 10 companies that were keen to look at agricultural opportunities, then we are happy to have a market sector trade mission. It could be agriculture, it could be mining, it could be a number of things. And the last slide, I think it's the last slide. Are there any questions? You can either fire the questions when Violetta is happy for you to do so, or you can email me. My details are there.
Yes, you can write your questions in chat. You can write in on email. I will share Jan's LinkedIn profile just in a couple of minutes in chat.
Yes.
And of course, it's a great presentation, great introduction. Just first step to open up and look closer on this possibility. Huge, tremendous possibility. And of course, this option to build a mission for mining or agriculture, anything. And now Alice also will tell her opportunities. Maybe just like a first step, and who is interested, you can always write to Ukrainian Business Way. We can just have like an idea to go to expert community of Ukraine and to suggest such a mission that could be organized by you and by us together. And we really can go to explore deeper on site this opportunity and how to really put this first step, take first step to go there, because I really agree. I'm still fascinated by the map. I just show this map for once again, and I'll switch in Ukrainian for a moment. На цій карті ми просто бачимо фізичний розмір, бо те, що ми бачимо на карті, я ось сьогодні від наших спікерів зрозуміла, що те, що ми бачимо, коли ми маємо глобус або ми маємо свою карту, воно не відображає фізичної дійсності. Тобто це один до одного фізичний розмір Африки. Африка вміщує в себе один до одного Америку, Індію, Китай, всю Європу і ще ось тут вона розташована. Тобто це лише Африка, фізично, географічно. І вона зараз на тій стадії, на якій колись 35 років тому був Китай, і зараз дуже швидко розвивається, плюс зростаюче населення. Тому дійсно неймовірні важливості, і треба, маючи підхід, треба до них йти. І ці можливості можуть відкрити, звичайно, наші експерти. So our experts can open up this possibility. Now, Alice, please share your screen, share your presentation, your prospect, and a little bit other geography of Africa and how it can be interesting, and what is your opportunity you can suggest to the community. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Ian, for the presentation. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'm just going to share it now. Okay.
Yes, we can see it. It's good, yeah.
Thank you, Ian, for sharing the information. And I love when you said that no one can claim that is an expert in Africa, because as Violet already shared again, so you have, more than an idea for you to have, more knowledge and sometimes to deconstruct the misconception of the size of Africa, and not putting all in as a one market, because it is not. It's huge, over 50 countries, different cultures, as Ian said, a vast number of different languages, and that is that tells us something. That tells us something. So bear with me, because I will be juggling between the presentation and my notes. So just bear with me here. Can you see my screen, or the presentation went down on my side?
Yes, it's okay. It's already a good thing, yeah.
Okay. So when I first started, it was not 40 years ago like you, so we don't have that long of an experience. But when I first started in 2021, I quickly noticed that something very interesting. There were many projects that were ready to growth, and like probably most of your companies with interest in Africa, with solid ideas, solid businesses, and plans to enter Africa. But at the same time, there were incredible talents as well, talented people who were ready to contribute, entrepreneurs, specialists, also investors, and professionals who genuinely wanted to be part of the development happening across the continent. So on paper, everything looked promising, but when I started to observe what was, many of these deals that were not taking or moving forward, they were taking a very long time to move forward. And we were talking about frustration right at the beginning, some delays for months, other not even moving from the initial discussion stage. And the surprising part was that it wasn't because the opportunities weren't there and weren't real. The potential was there. What was missing was something less visible, but absolutely critical. That was often a lack of alignment between partners, a lack of trust, and sometimes simply lack of understanding of local context. And talking about size of a continent, think about the different cultures, think about North Europe, South Europe, the culture is completely different, the dynamic is completely different. And both sides, when I first started, were not taking that in consideration. And I noticed that. Let me know if my slides are moving or...
Yes, they're moving, but we see not like show, we see the from the sidebar, and it's somehow vertical, not horizontal as usually. If maybe you can put slideshow, yes, it would be better. Thank you. Yes, it's much better.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so there is this lack of alignment between partners, lack of trust, as I was mentioning, different expectations, different ways of doing businesses, different regulatory environments as well. All of these things can create friction if they are not well understood from the beginning. What I realized is that entering a new market, especially one as diverse and dynamic as Africa and the countries that you choose in Africa for you to enter, is not just about capital, technology, or ambition. It is also, and I said, mainly about relationships. And as Ian have his partner on the ground, that have local knowledge, can build the bridge. This relationship is something that will support you actually on the ground with your journey in Africa. And it requires time to listen. It requires time to learn as well, and time to understand the people behind the projects. So instead of just looking at the deal from a distance, I decided to spend time getting to know the project owners and to know the investors personally, so that we could be of help bridging both sides and support with any gray areas that you could face, so we could help you with that. Because when people truly understand each other, when expectations become clear, something powerful happens. Trust starts to grow. And when trust grows, partnerships become stronger, decisions become faster, and projects have a much greater chance of succeeding. So that experience really shaped the way that I do business, the way that I look into doing business, and how we support companies that are looking to expand to Africa market today. Because in my view, successful expansion into Africa is not only about identifying opportunities, it is about building bridges between people, between cultures, and ways of doing businesses as well. Let me just move. Slides here.
Yes, it's okay. Yeah,
Okay,
we can. Yeah.
Good. So, and that when that that alignment happens between both parties, the potential that already exists can finally move forward. One thing that it's important to understand about the way we work is that we are not a volume consultant, we are a boutique consultancy, and we are not focusing on handling dozens of projects at the same time, producing long reports that sit on the shelf. Instead, we take a very different approach. We see ourselves as trusted navigators, because when organizations enter a new market, especially markets that are dynamic, diverse, and constantly evolving, what they often need most is not just advice, but you need some guidance, and you need someone that can walk you through the whole process and have someone on the ground that can guide you throughout that process. So, for example, we often act as the bridge between investor and local realities. Investors may come with capital, experience, and strong strategic vision, but local markets have their own dynamics, cultural, regulatory, and operational. Understanding those nuances can make the difference between success and frustration that we've mentioned before. Violet, I don't know if you want to translate, or are you okay? Can I carry on?
No, we should carry on, and I think a little bit like speed up. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So we also work in the space between strategy and implementation. So many organizations develop excellent strategies for expansion, growth, or investment. But turning a strategy into something that actually works on the ground requires coordination, local knowledge, and trusted relationships. So what does this look like in practice? At APGB, the way that we support our clients is quite hands-on, and it usually starts at the very beginning of their journey. First, we help organizations develop a clear African market entry strategy. Many companies that are interested in Africa, and for a good reason. As Ian was saying earlier, the population is young. They will need at some point services, food, energy, technology. So at some point, all of those opportunities are there to be, and the needs to be fulfilled. And as we mentioned, Africa is not a single market, and I will talk about the countries that we focus on and we work with. Africa is a continent with more than 50 countries, each with its own economic landscape, regulatory environment, cultural dynamics, and business practices. So
Alice, we don't see change in the slides. Can you just switch on slide maybe later on? And if you can go to the African markets, I think it will be really interesting. Yeah, now we see these markets.
Okay,
yes,
sorry, I didn't know the slides were not moving. Just let me know.
It's okay now. It's okay now. We see this, yes. Focus connects.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I will just jump into the countries that we work with. So we operate with 6 African countries, 5 with Portugal included. When I first started, we focused mainly on the Lusophone Africa. So other 5 countries in Africa that speaks Portuguese. It's Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, São Tomé, and Cabo Verde. Right now, we are focusing on these countries as the opportunities come, but ideally, we would like to expand to more. But at the first glance, these countries might seem very different geographically, economically, and culturally, but together they form a powerful bridge between Europe and several of Africa's most dynamic regions. Let me briefly walk you through the countries that we work. So starting with Mozambique. Mozambique is one of the countries that...
Yes, yeah. Perfect.
Good. Mozambique is one of the countries where many investors are watching closely right now due to the geopolitical situation we are living right now. And one of the main reasons is energy. And the country holds some of the largest natural gas discoveries in the past decades. So that discovery could transform Mozambique into the world's largest liquid natural gas exporters. So there is an opportunity there for energy. But at the same time, Mozambique has enormous potential in agriculture, infrastructure, ports, and logistics. With its long coastline and strategic position in the Indian Ocean, it serves as the gateway for severe landlocked countries in the southern Africa. So it's bordered with South Africa. But like many emerging markets, success there depends heavily on local understanding, strong partnership, and navigating institutional frameworks carefully. Next is Angola. I'll share some stats there so I can share the slides afterwards if someone wants to keep the information there. So Angola, for many years, was known primarily for oil. So oil still today plays a very important role in the economy. But today the country and the government is actively working to diversify into different sectors like agriculture, tourism, mining, logistics, and manufacturing. Angola has deep historical and economical ties with Portugal, which creates a natural bridge for investment, expertise, and talent. Similar to, they all speak Portuguese, Angola, Mozambique, Cabo Verde, they all speak Portuguese. And Portugal plays a very interesting role in this ecosystem. Many of the talents and the young people study in Portugal, from Mozambique, from Angola. So it's just natural that the intellectual resources will be in Portugal. So for many international companies and investors, Portugal becomes strategic platform where capital, legal structures, and international networks can connect with opportunities across Africa. Now, if we move to West Africa, we arrive in Ghana. And Violet already shared that Ukrainian government has created this agri-tech hub in Ghana for good reasons. Ghana is often seen as one of the most stable and business-friendly countries in the region. It has long been known for commodities like gold, cocoa, but in the recent years, something else has been happening, and Ghana has been experiencing rapid growth in technology, fintech, and digital payments, with mobile money transforming the way millions of people now they transact every day. That combination of natural resources, entrepreneurship, and digital innovation makes Ghana a very attractive gateway into West Africa. And then we move to East Africa quickly, and Ian already spoke about Kenya and its location. So Kenya, very interesting. We work with a group of female in trade based in Kenya and also in the diaspora. So we've been having very interesting projects coming from that network where women that are in trade, they are looking most times for a knowledge partnership, not so much finance. So sometimes it's someone with the know-how to help them in agriculture. Mainly, we've been having quite a few projects in agriculture. So if anyone is interested, we'll be more than happy to discuss that further down.
I'm happy to discuss that, please.
Yes, we can do that. So I'll move quickly now to Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde is very interesting, and if you ask, is my background. So if I get a little bit excited, you know why. Because Cabo Verde, it will be on the spotlight this year for very good reasons. It's a small island nation in the Atlantic, but it plays a very interesting strategic role because, like Ghana,
maybe you switch. We see now Kenya. Oh, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So Cabo Verde, because of its location between Europe, West Africa, and America, the position itself, the country positioned itself as a hub for services, digital innovation, and international connectivity. It also stands out for its political stability. Like Ghana, it's a very stable country politically, and it is natural, economic progression. And it's gaining even more international attention because for the first time it will participate at the World Cup, which I'm very happy about it. For the first time ever. So you'll see Cabo Verde there. And
congratulations.
Thank you. I'll be probably chanting somewhere, supporting Cabo Verde. And also at the end of this year, in December, the Web Summit will be hosted in Cabo Verde, in their tech park in Cabo Verde. And this is significant because the Web Summit is one of the world's largest technology and innovation gatherings. And hosting it in Cabo Verde, it highlights its is a fantastic, because then it will align with what the government is being doing, and positioning Cabo Verde to become a tech hub for Africa, once it, is connected with Europe, America, and also Africa. So the government focus it's being to create this infrastructure that will allow Cabo Verde to be a tech hub, and hope to attract startups, and businesses to Cabo Verde.
And may I add it, from my point of view, just a signal, it's a huge signal that this World Technical event will take place next to Africa. So Africa is the main focus for most of the countries who used to look at Asia. Now they are looking to Africa and its development. So yes, it's a great signal. Thank you. Yes, really interesting information.
No problem. And the population is highly educated. So there is a high number of young people that go and study, not just in Portugal but also in Brazil, because they also speak Portuguese. So there is this focus from the government to have educated young people so they can promote entrepreneurship and also with that all the startups that comes with it. So we look at the network of these countries as a strategic gateway. So we have the Lusophone Africa, we have West Africa, we have East Africa and Europe, and emerging Atlantic innovation hub. Each with its own opportunities, dynamics, and partnerships as well. And our role at APGB is to help our partners understand these connections, to navigate these environments and build relationships that works across borders.
Alice, maybe you can switch the slide just we see now Cabo Verde.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So when we talk about Africa today, the story is not only about opportunity. It is about connection between markets, connection between people, connection between ideas and implementation. And when those connections are built with trust, understanding, and responsibility, something powerful happens. Opportunity turns into partnerships, partnerships turn into ecosystems, and ecosystems create a sustainable growth that lasts far beyond one single project. Thank you. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Alice. You can maybe switch slide with your contacts, so it will stay on video.
Sure.
It's your team. I have a pleasure to meet all of your team.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yes. And next slide maybe with your contacts, so it will stay in our video. Yeah. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
I will be in London for your event on the 14th of May. So perfect. If anyone is in London and would like to meet, I'll be happy to meet with you and to have a conversation and learn more about you.
Yes, and if someone wants to ask anything to Jan, to Alice, you can also connect with me in Ukrainian if you need this. And I think it was just wonderful webinar. If someone wants to ask questions, please ask them right now. You can even unmute yourself. And please share this video with your colleagues, not only in Ukrainian. This webinar is completely in English. You can share with your communities. I'm almost sure that any entrepreneurs who is looking for trade development, for trends, and who are looking for Africa will find a lot of interest in the information from you. Jan, Alice, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just shared the presentation on the chat.
Yes, and presentation, you can also ask me. I will send you presentation if Jan and Alice are okay to send you.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. I love the map and all this data about the countries. From Marina Maltseva, thank you for your presentations. Marina sells a food products company, Marina's company. How can we establish trusted relationship with African customers and secure the payments? We know that without physical presence in Africa, doing business is very hard. Yes, Marina, you can email to Alice, to Jan, and through which country you work or you plan to work, or maybe you can even get some like consultancy with, again, Alice. Please do LinkedIn. I know that I met Jan and Alice through LinkedIn. You have their LinkedIn profiles. You can write in messages and you will find answers, or you can get some support.
It's a very, very good question that's been asked. I don't think there's a simple answer to it, but I think it's something that certainly food, importing food. There's a lot of people that are selling into Africa with food products, so it can be done. When it says about secure payments, I recently read an article that suggested that you were far more likely to have a bad debt when trading with North America than you were with Africa. So if it's set up properly, I think the payment issue can be very, very secure. I don't think there's any problems there. Believe me, African people are lovely people. They of course there are troublemakers in Africa. There are troublemakers in Europe. I think a lot of Ukrainians can think of one specific troublemaker. And there's lots of troublemakers in North America. Yeah. We can probably think of another one there. But effectively, most Africans are very welcoming, friendly people that want to do business. And payment, if it's set up correctly, should not be an issue.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Ian. And it's a matter of you trying to do the right thing from the beginning, and have lawyers that will help you set up your company with local knowledge, rather than trying to replicate anything that you heard or you see about it or someone told you to do. No. Yes. Local knowledge is key. Start to do the right thing from the start is the best thing. That anyone that is serious about having a business that is sustainable, so you want to do business long term, definitely local knowledge.
And if you're okay, I will just highlight one idea from Alice from the beginning, that to build with heart, yes, with attitude to understand other party, not just transactional interaction. If you go this way with building connections, with building trust and then transaction, even in the UK it works. In all our events, I remember Made in Britain, one of great speakers says all the time, don't start sales, build partnership, then sale. So, and I think it's a keynote about Africa. It's a key about any partnership and trust, and payment, of course, go on a trusted connection. So yes, I'm happy that it is already done. I hope that video will be ready and it will be okay. Please share video with your colleagues, and I hope that we will have some other new events, or maybe some activities connected with education, connected with trade between Africa, Europe, and it's a hub with tiny countries for 500,000 that showed Alice. Also, so interesting opportunity, especially, and Uganda that Jan represented. So even with this webinar, you have contacts of Jan, of Alice, you have understanding which countries are stable gateways to West Africa, to East Africa, to South Africa, like Mozambique. Yes, you can even understand already how to enter from one side or from another side. And you have reliable contacts to get consulting, to get people on site. Yes, in Jan partner, Alice colleagues who are there in Africa who can help you. So thank you, everyone. If no questions, I'm just great thanks to our speakers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Violet, for putting the event together and for organizing everything so nicely. Thank you.